Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 31st of October, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up slightly, 0.1%, to 6,781 points today, even though Wall Street jumped by more than 1% this morning. Real estate investment trusts led the way higher, while consumer staples and financials also outperformed. The banks were generally up a bit, while QBE rose 2.3%, Goodman rose 1.5%. Worst were the materials companies, led by the big miners. BHP fell 1.6%, while Fortescue Metals Group, Woodside and Rio Tinto were all lower. Poultry company Ingham's jumped 7% and was the best performing stock on the ASX 200 after upping its pre-tax forecast. Liontown Resources added 1% following a trading update that said its Kathleen Valley project is more than 50% complete, and gold miner St Barbara tumbled 9% after it posted higher all-in sustaining costs at both its mines in Papua New Guinea and Canada. Story number 2, plenty of corporate news around. Australian Super, a major investor in Origin Energy, said it will reject the $18.7 billion takeover offer from Brookfield and partner EIG, putting pressure on the consortium to lift its offer. Treasury Wine Estates announced a $1.6 billion bid for high-end Californian winemaker Dow Vineyards. And Australia's largest listed funerals group, InvoCare, will leave the exchange after shareholders voted for TPG's $1.8 billion buyout. Story number 3, the board of Endeavour Group, the owner of Dan Murphy's, BWS and the nation's largest network of pubs and gaming machines, has defeated a campaign for former Woolies executive Bill Wavish to join the board after a 3-hour annual shareholder meeting. The company's biggest shareholder, Bruce Matheson Sr., and his son, Bruce Matheson Jr., who's on the board, were pushing for Wavish to become a director. Also on Team Wavish was former Woolies chief executive Roger Corbett, who during today's meeting spoke and said the chair of Endeavour, Peter Hurl, had made demeaning comments about Matheson's agenda, and Corbett called on him, Hurl that is, to resign immediately. Corbett also had a go for the share price performance, which is down 40% from its peak. Hurl then had a crack at Corbett's comments and analysis. In the end, Wavish only received 27.8% of votes, so he wasn't even close to getting a seat. Good theatre, though. Story number 4, an insurance sector commissioned review has found that insurers aren't that good at predicting catastrophic events, which is somewhat worrying given that's what their business is. Deloitte's review for the Insurance Council said the sector's catastrophe plans failed to anticipate floods the size of last year's East Coast inundation or economic logjams, according to a report in the Financial Review. The lack of insurer foresight means some scenario planning has limited usefulness. The aftermath of the catastrophes weren't handled well either. Black mould infestations were exacerbated following delays and confusion among customers about obtaining clearance to clear the debris, worsening people's health. The review also found there are also communications and logistics problems. The review recommended reducing manual processes and better data modelling to speed up claims handling, and that insurers should also improve their workforce planning. And finally, story number 5, plenty going on globally. Wall Street bounced this morning with a broad-based S&P 500 and tech-heavy Nasdaq up 1.2%. Some of the tech giants led the way. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, they all did pretty well. Tesla didn't. It fell nearly 5%. China's factory activity fell back into contraction during October, while an expansion of the services sector unexpectedly eased, signalling that the world's second largest economy remains fragile and in need of support. That's not good news for Australia. In oil markets, there was a warning from the World Bank that if the Middle East conflict escalates, leading to a large disruption in oil supplies, the price of oil could surge through $150 a barrel. The price of Brent is back around $87 a barrel at the moment. Gold's come off a bit, while the Aussie dollar is buying around 63.5 US cents. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 31st of October, 2023. Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning with a Wednesday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.